Hi everyone, my name is Wandile Mthembu. I'm back again with another YouTube video highlighting my Miss Universe 2021 recap. I'm so excited that the show has finally premiered, ended, and we all got to watch India, take home the crown after a long 21 years. Congratulations to India. Just to give you guys some explanation on why I haven't been so speedy with uploading this video, so I did record my initial reaction and my initial recap video, but I lost the footage, which is really just so heartbreaking. It was just an what is it? It was an editing incident, and it was just all gone, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't even give them the same energy that I really could. But you know what? I'm back again to hopefully give you guys more content and just to discuss my thoughts. Okay, getting right into it, you guys. I have my notes that I took time to actually write down so I can have some clarity and some coherence to what I actually want to say. So, okay, in my initial prediction, I had a lot of deadlocks or either ors, and I'm proud to announce that from my initial prediction, I got 11 out of the 16 ladies that made it and classified in the Miss Universe 2021 top 16. For my first time, I think that's really great. My biggest surprise was actually Thailand, who I thought was gonna initially make it through to the interview rounds, given her incredible speaking ability and her great ability to actually provide an amazing interview. I feel like this is the primary reason why Thailand even selected her as their crown delegate and national queen, and hence why they even pushed her through, because of these amazing talents and her ability to display and project herself as the next Miss Universe. Well, as a potential serious contender for the crown. I was a really big fan of her Real Size Beauty platform that I still think should have been given enough airtime on the Miss Universe stage, or at least an advancement into top 16, where they really could have given us that necessary representation on the stage and her the screen time to actually speak through it. So that was just a necessary and influential, I feel like, advocacy throughout all the delegates that I really connected with, and I feel like was really needed to be seen. And it was just quite devastating not to see her make it to that top 16, but everything happens for a reason, and I believe that Thailand will be back stronger than ever in the year 2022, and potentially even win it all after an upset and unplacement during this year or during the season. Other contestants from my predictions that didn't make it through but I felt strongly connected to were Nepal, Malta, Mauritius. Those are my either ors. Kenya, Israel. Israel really, because I really thought she was the host country and her own host country wouldn't allow her to clap, which it did, and I was just taken aback. I was like, wow, that happened. That really happened. Actually, Miss Universe is actually quite unpredictable. It goes to show the level of, I don't want to say prestige, I want to say the level of quality that they actually try to get for their top 16. And as consequence, I think this year it really showed that they're not going to prioritize you just because you're the queen delegate from a country that's offering something. And that's food for thought for potential host countries in future. So not only rely on their power or the fact that they're hosting there's lightning outside, to actually to actually honestly, the heavens are agreeing with me, you guys, so I'm gonna try and make this quick. Okay, to honestly just rely on the fact that just because you guys have a national queen and she's seemingly strong, that she's gonna get that classification just because you're hosting. I think it was a strong message by the Miss Universe organization to actually demand quality from potential organizers in future. So the ladies that made it to the top 16 are as follows: Aruba, Colombia, France, Great Britain, India, Japan, Panama, Paraguay, Philippines, Puerto Rico, Singapore, South Africa, the Bahamas, USA, Venezuela, and Vietnam. From those, I missed Aruba, who was such a complete surprise to me. A healthy surprise, Love to see dark horses come to the forefront, come from the back, and actually just own and kill it. And yeah, she even ended up getting into the top 10 for like the first time ever, like for her country after, let me see, where did Aruba, after 25 years of like not placing. So that's an amazing feat for Aruba to celebrate. And, like, it was so groundbreaking. I was actually so ecstatic to see her make it there. I was equally ecstatic to see Great Britain making it there. A friend of mine actually noted her. Shout out to Natasha. But I really wasn't like paying attention, I guess, as I should have to the girls. And under the IMG era, I think this is Britain's third consecutive placement in like a top 16 or top 20. So Miss Universe Great Britain organization is really sending out amazing delegates year after year. I think also Emma Chanks or Emma Jane from 2019 should have classified. Like, she was one of my favorites. So yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye out on Great Britain. Like, they are really doing amazing things. Japan, after 7 years, I think the last time they actually placed or managed to classify was in 2015. And yeah, they made it all the way, I think, to top 5 or top 10, I'm not sure. But yeah, Japan, welcome to the party again. Nice to see you making an entry with an amazing delegate. She's such a well-rounded speaker. I was so surprised that I actually missed her, you guys. The next country being Singapore, after a long 34 years of not placing. Welcome, history maker, drought breaker. I love these drought breaking countries actually just advancing and moving forward. I love to see it for Singapore, such a deserving nation, and hopefully more to see from them in future years through like preparation, since they know like how to go about it. Also, representation matters because of the short hair. Loved her during swimsuit. She's just amazing on stage, and her gowns are so unique. So, period. And shout out to her. The country I actually predicted to make it as a potential drought breaker was the Bahamas, you guys. Chantal slayed it. Meet Chantal on Instagram. I loved Shantae last year, so this was like great justice to actually have her classified not only in top 16, making history as the first Bahamian woman to actually classify at Miss Universe in the entirety of the competition, but for her to make it to top 10 just shows what an incredible contender she has been or was for the Bahamas. So I'm really excited to see them press on with more amazing girls in future. Okay, you guys, so I was really just so amazed with like the individual performances of the girls. I think France, she lacked in a sense that her on final night, like her styling was quite poor for me. Like, I didn't like the nude look on her, especially as a woman of color. I think color would have worked and would have made her stand out more. Same goes for Puerto Rico. I think styling let her down, and I was not a fan of the dress, but I was a fan of the performances. Now, I do know that some people actually think she was just doing a bit too much on finals. And after like critical review, I must agree, I think she could have toned it down a bit more. And yeah, I don't want to speak about her behavior this past week, as she was one of my favorite delegates, but I'm quite disappointed, to say the least, about her reactions given the new winner from India. So yeah, I hope this doesn't affect Puerto Rico in any way in future, because their delegates, aside from, the unnecessary extra bit, are amazing, like back-to-back amazingness from Puerto Rico. The next contender who actually was such a healthy surprise for me was Colombia. I feel like she brought the energy that I wanted to see at finals. She brought her Miss Universe Colombia self. She was alive. She was magnetic. I just felt her presence. I felt her aura. I felt her energy. Like, she was like transcendental. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was just effortless, and I feel like that's what, excuse me, my word, what's going on? I'm losing such track of my thoughts. Anyway, that's what literally made her such a standout in her top 10 performances, especially for evening gown. She brought it, and she was a child. So I was really happy to see her there. I was happy to see USA change her gown. I think that gown needed a slit, but I love the color on her. I think she should have just gone like full fro with her hair, like her signature hairstyle. She's done it for almost every single pageant that she's participated, and I'm talking about all 3. Okay, so I'd really just have loved to see her, fro just come to life without like it being like tied up basically. Release your hair, girl. Like that's all I wanted to see from you. Yeah, Venezuela made it through, Panama made it through, and those girls were also my sentimental faves. I really wanted to see them in the top five, but I really love the selection committee's choices this year, and I really can't dispute any of them because I really thought this year's like classifications were such excellent and there's such amazing diversity amongst the contestants. Okay, you guys, so after the top 10 had commenced, I really thought that the USA would be in top 5 alongside Colombia, alongside Philippines, alongside India, alongside who else? Who else am I missing? I've counted USA, Colombia, Philippines, India, and oh my word, South Africa, my own home country. Yeah, I really thought they would be in the top 5 thereafter. Here are the receipts. In my friend group, we were literally discussing live. Okay, maybe not. I may not put it up, you guys, because like it's we've talked quite a bit since then. Okay, but yeah, I thought those were the girls which we were gonna see in top 5, and it's unfortunate because USA didn't make it, and I really was gunning to hope to see her there because of her amazing speaking ability. I thought she would have changed the game a bit, but Paraguay made it instead, and yeah, such is life. I think Nadia had great performances as well, and she was definitely shining on final night. So that wasn't a complete like surprise. I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised. You know what I'm saying? So going into top 5 question, India was asked. Many people think that climate change is a hoax. What would you do to convince them to take it seriously? And I really loved these 2 catchphrases from her. She said, take action, talk less, which really is such a powerful statement for making tangible changes right now so that in future years, we actually have, a home to still live in, a planet that our children or her future children could still prosper. She further went on to say, prevent and protect is better than to repent and repair, which is also just such a powerful statement in saying or advocating for the protection of the earth and for overall holistic health of the environment. To actually say that we should actually do this so we don't actually have to fix or bear with the consequences in the future of having to repair or heal our earth is actually so timely and so relevant to what's actually going on globally, considering the amount of global emissions we have and the amount of like climate challenges that the earth is actually facing. So I think India was a show given for the top 3 after top 5 Q&A. So up next was South Africa, and she was asked, should tweets and comments from social media from a person in their teenage years, should they basically be expected to be held accountable in future years? And this was such a really difficult question to actually speak for in like a 30-second time frame and actually really think about it, if you think about it. I think she had a strong foundation when she was starting, and she actually spoke about thinking people that really need to be held accountable for their actions, regardless of your age, guys. Like, you said certain things and you know the difference between right or wrong. So I do believe that being held accountable, yes, I can agree with her, especially since she's a lawyer. Like, that was such an obvious answer for her to give, and it was such a good and strong like stance for her to take. Then it really got interesting, you guys. She mentioned that she actually believes in cancel culture. And this was such a strong and firm yet controversial stance to take. But I feel like the way she said it and her confidence in what she was actually saying, regardless of it being very jarring and very, controversial, really could leave the judges to actually think about what is this girlie trying to say? It really leaves an audience divided, because in some instances, like, cancel culture is effective. And this is just my own opinion, in the sense that, yeah, if you're saying like really jarring and you're being like really jarring things and you're being basically unapologetic about them years later, given that you know that they could be harmful to other people and their social realities or their lived experiences, then you absolutely deserved to, be cancelled for that. Not to be mistreated or bullied into submission, just but like society just forgetting about you and moving on, like as if you don't exist and as if you didn't say all of those jarring and hurtful things. Like that's my definition of being cancelled. And I feel like Miss South Africa went on to like redeem herself by actually saying she further believes in redemption culture, which again was such a strong point to make. I feel like this was her moment to actually bring herself back after like realizing, whoa, like cancel culture is actually so jarring. Like, what the hell? What did I just say? So I feel like redemption culture really just speaks about like the power to actually forgive people, given that they actually prove themselves worthy years later for the statements that they've actually made. And yeah, just being like apologetic to the people that you potentially hurt. I feel like everybody needs forgiveness. And yeah, that was such a Miss Universe thing to sort of like say. I feel like this is probably what got her into top three once the judges thought about like what she was actually trying to say. And yeah, overall, it was such a strong answer, but like it's easy to see why people would just be like, oh, tense, okay? Then they asked Paraguay. Like I can't say that without like my South African accents. There's a lot of mixes in me. Not mixes in terms of like my heritage, but like in terms of like language aspects and how I speak. So Paraguay, like yeah, as a lot. But she was further asked, how can women best handle body shaming? And she went on to further say, our body is our temple, so we must take care of it. Which I like. It's a great, soft opening intro, like on how to appreciate one's own body and, truly just like, because you have the body that you do, that you take care of it. And yeah, it's your own, so you must celebrate it. I feel like that's the direction of thought that she was actually going into. And yeah, that was a good start for her. And she further went on to say, our inner beauty is what really matters. Let's cultivate an inner beauty so that it can reflect on our external beauty. So her stance was then focused on reflecting on your own inner beauty, what makes you beautiful from inside out. And I feel like that's such a very governable answer to actually give it. It was so diplomatic of her to actually think of that, because so many people actually do have, body image issues and body dysmorphia. And so to actually give that message of hope, to focus on your best possible features stemming from inside out, is actually quite incredible of her to say and actually speak out. I did though think she could have added a bit more just to give her answer some depth and some impact. Like, let's celebrate body diversity. Let's champion for an inclusive society that actually is forthcoming and welcoming about all different types of bodies and spectrums across the universe. I believe that we shouldn't hold each other accountable to our bodies, but we should free ourselves from mentalities that actually think we should have an opinion on how people should look based on physical appearance. I believe that judging people for how they look and not who they are is wrong. And so to all women around the world who are watching tonight, I think you are worthy, you are beautiful inside and out. And this is the message I want you to reflect upon, that you are worthy and that your body is beautiful and is worth celebrating. So if I was her child, that's how I would really ate on that final night. But I identify as non-binary, but I'm very male presenting. So maybe in my lifetime we can actually go participate at Miss Universe and maybe deliver for a country. You never know. Manifesting. Okay. So okay, I'm gonna focus on those girls alone. And then we got to top three. India, South Africa, and Paraguay were the top three, and I was pleasantly surprised to see them make it. I would have had Colombia instead of Paraguay again. Just again, personal preference, because I feel like Colombia was a sentimental favorite of mine, so I would have brought her forward, given her answer about women empowerment and women in leadership. So I think her answer was stronger, but I was happy to see Paraguay, make history and further advance, in a high placement for a country for the first time in a really, really, really long while. Okay. So Our winner, India, was asked, and this is her winning answer. She was asked, what advice would you give to young women, advising them on the pressures that they face today? And she actually took some time to think about it and projected a message to the youth. And I feel like that was really smart of her to do, because her giving a message to the youth is all inclusive. The youth contains women, the youth contains women who are, non-conventional. It just is a message for everyone. Child doesn't leave a particular gender alone to actually find power and the depth of her message and her words for them to actually relate, which I thought was a great and affirming stance to actually start on. So she further went on to say, knowing you are unique and that what makes you beautiful, stop comparing yourself with others. Yes, speaking on a person's uniqueness and their own beauty, and them just needing to affirm themselves and reflect on their individual powers and individual person, and their strengths and talents. I feel like this was such a great start, and well, a great continue from her initial stance. And yeah, she further went on to say, let's talk about more important things worldwide. So, going back to the initial question, like advising like women basically on pressures that they face today, like I don't know. I feel sort of like in the middle, in the sense that, like, okay, I would have went with the question directly, and I would have actually taken the opportunity to empower women globally, given that I have this voice and I'm given the space to actually exercise that authority and power through my words. So I would have definitely not chosen to negate from the fact that women do need empowering. And yes, I do acknowledge that the world does have, like, bigger issues than your own, like, not say weaknesses, but your own insecurities. Even though at the time and how she delivered it was just so powerful and breathtaking. Yeah, it's just a personal preference for me. Like, I feel so conflicted, but like, it was a good stance for her to take on, that the world actually has bigger problems and we need to actually change our thought processes to actually thinking about, like, global problems and then global solutions, and then maybe after then we can just focus internally on ourselves individually, present to person, specific issue to specific issue, which for me is good enough. Like, it was good, it was effective, you know what I'm saying? So she further went on to say, speak for yourself because you are the leader of your own life. I believed in myself, and that is why I am standing here today. Whew. Okay, speak for yourself because you are the leader of your life, essentially meaning you must take accountability for every single thing that you do and every single action that you allow to, be expressed through your everyday thoughts, habits, and, movements. I really like that. That was so groundbreaking. I thought that was really powerful for her to actually tell everyone that they're their own leader of their lives, and so they have the capacity to change their own destiny at a moment's notice. And yeah, they have will over themselves and their lives, and so how they view each other and how they see themselves is essentially their own responsibility to actually lead with what they initially want to see themselves as a being. And I really love that. And she was like, a personal statement. I always feel like personal statements always just give that necessary power to make the statement stronger. And this is what I believe won her the crowd with her saying this and her delivery, guys. It was magic. It was just like, love it. Okay, I believed in myself, and that's why I'm standing here today. Not only am I, like, I want to say, a choice consequence of all my decisions I've made and all the things that have influenced and contributed to who I am. I am a consequence of my own thoughts and actions, and this is why I'm even here today. It's such a powerful statement, like reaffirming her initial message on believing in yourself and actually stepping into your power. And yeah, that was just such a grand gesture to actually make to the universe and actually inspire young girls across India and even the universe to take a chance to believe in themselves, because that's what makes the individual person amazing, great, influential, aspirational. Catch the lines, okay? Right, let's move on. So, So South Africa in top B was asked, what advice would you give to young women watching on how to deal with pressures they face today? Which I feel like is such a timely and relevant question to ask. And it was also like similar, it was sort of like similar to India's top 5 question as well. And so she answered and she was like, I would implore young women to choose courage over comfort at every opportunity they get. I'd also like young women to know that since the beginning of time, they have had everything rather, to achieve anything they've wanted. It was unfortunately the world that convinced us that we could not or we did not. Whew, and this was such an impactful moment for her, and I feel like the only thing that really didn't get her to that top, top position in the crown was literally her delivery. I feel like if she had more confidence and more, control the room energy, like I have everybody listening to me, like they are just eating from the cusp of my hands and fingers. Like I feel like that's the elemental quality that really just was needed to actually cement this answer as one for the history books, which I feel like it already is because it's such a powerful statement. I really, really love the opening intro for young women to choose courage over comfort. I mean, gosh, like what is that even like? How do these girls even think of these answers when they're actually choosing like their thought process or actually are thinking like this is so spectacular. This is really groundbreaking and this is really amazing for me because it's so powerful for young girls to actually listen to, like especially from like a global audience perspective, like even in marginalized countries where some young girl was potentially listening through just because of like through like a radio like signal or like through like a young YouTube stream, and they are in like circumstances of hardship. For them to actually listen to Lalela say choose courage over comfort is really incendiary. It's really remarkable. It's really empowering to themselves. I feel like, yeah, that's like a flagship answer that really gets the person going, that really gets the person inspired to actually change themselves, to want to become better, to want to be elevated, to want to be brave, to want to be this amazing person in society. And yeah, power to her, power to women all over the world, all over the universe, rather. She was also like, I'd also like young women to know that ever since the beginning of time, they've had everything rather, to achieve all they wanted. And so she reflected on the past that women, and this is factual, women have been marginalized in society for quite a long time. They do not have the same equal opportunities as their counterparts socially, economically, throughout, like social structures in all like spheres of the globe, depending on which country you're from and how advanced and liberal it is. But this is a true statement, and yeah, it was just such a really great reflective point for actually have a personal impact touch that all women could resonate with because of the primary marginalizations that women have actually had to face at a global scale. And yeah, that was such a moment, and a moment for all women to actually be like, I really, really just appreciate being affirmed and seen. Like, this answer was amazing. It was unfortunately the world that convinced us that we did not, and that was such a great way to end it off. I feel that she could have went on to further say more, just to give it more depth, more power, more personal conviction, so that she actually just seals the deal. After like saying, it was unfortunately the world that convinced us that we did not. I would have loved to see her say something along the lines of, even against all odds, women continue to, elevate, elevate in society. They continue to break ground and break those glass ceilings so that we have the necessary representation that we need to see, whether it be leadership in corporate spaces or, to her for her own personal, like, example, or, to her own, like to herself individually, or advancing like legal systems and law. And she could have really went on to speak about amazing like women around the globe who've actually had amazing impact in countries and in spheres of industry etc. So I feel like natural example would be like Jacinda Ardern from Australia, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, who actually is doing so well or has done so well in her presidential term. She could have touched on Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, and I'm forgetting the lady that actually was, you know, one of the five judges, I guess, in the U.S. Supreme Court of Justice. I'm forgetting the references to her. I'm African, so I can't know. But she was legendary and she was like celebrated. Like I would have just, just to give it more depth and keep it elevated. But I feel like she did great overall, and yeah, I really loved it. So Paraguay was asked this question last. What would you give to young women? What advice would you give to young women watching on how to deal with pressures they face today? They all got asked the same question actually. And she said she's been through a lot of hardships and she reflected on her own experiences in life. And she actually normalized that going through hardships yet overcoming them is the greatest strength that any individual could potentially have, and their ability to continue despite all odds is what makes them really amazing. And I really loved this direct message from her where she was like, I want all young women, all persons who's watching today to join forces to do what you're meant to do because you can do it no matter the situation. You can overcome and always be victorious. And I feel like that was such an underrated yet powerful statement coming from her. I think people just naturally assume that it wasn't like great just because like her quality of English wasn't maybe as great as South Africa's or India's, but the level of her skill set and actually being able to answer this question, I feel like deserved her placement overall, like at the end of these results. Because I mean, if she's telling people to join forces and be united and form a united front in whatever they're going through, whatever hardships they face, that they basically live out their purpose because they can do it and they've always intrinsically had that ability inside of them to deal with whatever situation. Is such an amazing like answer to actually project and have people hear. You can overcome and be victorious. I feel like is an amazing like stance and affirming statement to actually make, especially for a final speech, because it truly shows the individual depth and power that each person has for them to like change their overall circumstances and be people that actually govern their own livelihoods and lives and actually live out their dreams. And so yeah, well done to Paraguay for that, because that child was amazing. So second runner-up was South Africa. The first runner-up was Paraguay, and the winner was Miss Universe. India had Naz Kaur Shandu. She is 21 years old, born in the year 2001, India's third crown after 21 years. So I feel like it was just destiny literally sealed for her in the books, because she was born in the year like the last Indian queen won, the year 2000, the year India was like literally killing the game, like achieving alpha doubles. They achieved an alpha double that year. And so her to be born like a few months earlier, like before their last initial winner like won, was pretty groundbreaking for me. I feel like that was such I don't know, like it was, I don't know, just a destiny. It was a moment of destiny for her. I feel like no one really could have taken that from her, because yeah, it was always her destiny to win Miss Universe. And so we're so proud of India. From South Africa, I'm congratulating India. I'm sending so much love. I'm sure you guys are gonna enjoy her title and her reign. I'll be following as well. I'm pretty sure she's gonna have an amazing time. So yes, to her getting 5 million followers, I really want to see that happen actually, because India has a massive fan base and you guys can do it, so do it for her. Other stats include that this was actually Paraguay's highest placement at MU since they've competed, and congratulations to Nadia Ferreira for actually getting Paraguay their first top three placement, well, first overall top placement at Miss Universe, and actually breaking history for her country. Congratulations to Lalela Mswane, South Africa, for getting South Africa the fourth consecutive top 3 placement in 5 years at Miss Universe. I feel like that's really amazing. And South Africa's killing the game, clearly. You should know, like, you must not underestimate South Africans. Don't do it. For your own mental sanity and health, don't do it. Even Natasha deserved to place last year and she would have gone to top 5. Personal bias speaking, of course, but we all know it's true. We all know it's true. Had she would have won, maybe not, maybe. We don't know. But she was an amazing candidate, and I feel like 2020, because of this dirty politics, just did South Africa dirty. Otherwise, it'll be 5 out of 5. Top 3, I'm not sure, child, but like, I still think she would have gone all the way. Personal bias speaking. Other stats include Jawbreakers. This is the Jawbreaker edition, the year of the dark horse Bahamas, who I predicted would be placing in top 10, made her country's first ever placement. So congratulations to the Bahamas. Singapore placed after 34 years. Amazing for Singapore. Historic. Keep on elevating. These countries are doing so well. I want to see more representation coming forward from them and other countries that we don't really hail or talk about in pageants, and I'm guilty of that as well. So I'm gonna be looking out for more countries next year, hoping that this year becomes like a repeat in terms of like the order of proceedings, maybe a top 20, but like more countries from unexpected regions like actually advancing and placing really high. Hopefully top 5s next time, because I feel like they're so worthy. Miss Universe must stop this thing of them being political at every opportunity. Allow these countries to break ground and reach top 5 positions. Like, I actually would love to see, like dark horse countries or countries with outside factor dominate top 5. Like, you just have them all just there and everyone is shocked that year because that happened. I would love to see that happen, personally. Another country, Aruba, making it after 25 years. Damn, that's a really long time. And she also placed top 10 for her country, so congratulations, Aruba. And Japan, again, after 7 years of not qualifying at Miss Universe. These girls were the comeback girls of their edition, and I'm super stoked, super happy to have seen them all advance. And yeah, guys, this makes it to the end of our Miss Universe recap. I really want all your thoughts on what really happened at Miss Universe this year. I want your opinions. And yeah, I want you to actually tell me what content you would like to see from this channel moving forward. I'm so excited to create more content for us in future and actually just continue to have dialogues as we've been having in the comment section. I'd also like to take the time out to thank my dear friend Tamsin Jack, who bought me a microphone because of my lack of equipment for my channel. She's the first person to support this channel, so really I'm just so grateful to her. My future Miss South Africa 2022, and thank you so much, my friend. And yeah, thank you to everyone who's been a part of this channel and who's actually taken the time to subscribe. Within a week of this channel actually restarting again after it brought it back, we actually reached 100 subscribers, and yeah, we've been picked up internationally as well from countries like the Philippines and Malaysia, who actually have like the most watches or watch count times on this channel. South Africa side, I'm really super grateful that happened, and may we grow stronger and become more and more elevated through this channel. We're a big family, as I'm saying, so I'm super excited to actually continue to grow with you guys, and I am just so grateful for everyone that is on this space with me, who shares this moment with me, who bears through, my speech impairment sometime, and all, my poor editing sometimes. I'm just really happy to be here with you all, and thank you so much for actually joining, and I really love you guys. Oh, so cute. But up until again, I'll see you next time on the next YouTube video. Bye.